This program is made possible by the support of Delta Dental, Quick Trip, Marshfield Clinic Health System, Wisconsin Counties Association, Wisconsin Hospital Association, watch WisconsinEye on Spectrum Channels 995 and 363, and at wisconsineye.org.
Well, good morning. On behalf of the Wisconsin State Capitol Ornament Committee and the State Historical Society Foundation, I'm Kate Seiske, and I'm very pleased to welcome you to the 16th annual unveiling of the Wisconsin State Capitol Ornament. We are extremely proud of the 2019 edition. A special commemorative ornament created for the 100th anniversary of Wisconsin's women's suffrage, and it is inspired by Forward, the prominent and beloved state capitol statue that was created, funded, and dedicated to the Wisconsin women and to suffrage. We'll begin today with remarks by State Senate Minority Leader Jennifer Schilling, followed by the Wisconsin Supreme Court Chief Justice Patient Roggensack. They will unveil the 2019 ornament along with our special guest, Helen Colburn Minor, who's the very lively granddaughter of the woman artist seen sculpturing the Forward statue 126 years ago. Helen, the artist Jean Pon Minor Colburn, and her granddaughter will share her thoughts about her grandmother with us today. The event is made possible by the State Historical Society Foundation, and Julie Lucier, this foundation's managing director, will provide us at our conclusion with the details about the ornament program and how you might go about getting a copy of this year's ornament. We'll then conclude to allow our guests of honors to take their seats in the State Assembly Rotunda, the State Rotunda for the big noon event for the 100th anniversary, and of course the public is all welcome. Thank you very much for coming for today's event. Senator Schilling.
Thank you, Kate, and thank you to the Historical Society and all on the commission that have worked so hard and every year really make a very special effort to make these memorial or ornaments very memorable and special to celebrating Wisconsin's history. It is great to be here this morning as we celebrate the centennial anniversary of Wisconsin's ratification of the 19th Amendment that gave women the right to vote. It's important to celebrate and honor the suffragettes that paved the way for women in Wisconsin, while also acknowledging that there is still work to be done for equity, equality, and inclusion of all women across the state. Wisconsin was the first state to ratify the 19th Amendment, but it still took decades for women of color to have the right to fully be recognized. Voting is a fundamental right, and our democracy is strongest when everyone is allowed to participate in free, open, and fair elections. We led the way 100 years ago, and today we still have the opportunity to be inclusive and progressive when it comes to protecting and expanding everyone's constitutional right to vote. While women have the right to vote, there continues to be barriers to equal representation in our legislature and elected office throughout the state. As of today, 31 out of 1,042 members to have served in the Senate were women. Only 31 out of 1,042 members were women. I am proud and I am grateful for this opportunity to serve because of the women before me, and we will continue shattering glass ceilings for the women that come after me. As I sat in my chair before the program began, I turned around and I met a young girl named Kylie, who was in 4th grade from Neenah. And she wrote a paper about suffragettes. And so I feel that as the next generation learns the history of our past, our storied past, they will lead with great leadership into the future. So thank you, and it'll be exciting to unveil the ornament. Thank you.
Well, good morning. As we meet today to celebrate Wisconsin's June 10th, 1919 ratification of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, it's appropriate that the Wisconsin Capitol Ornament for 2019 has Forward as its inspiration. Forward is a statute that served as the Wisconsin Women's Memorial at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. Forward was created by Madison woman sculptor Joan Pond Miner for the Wisconsin Pavilion. Forward is an allegory to devotion and progress, those qualities sculptor Miner thought were embodied in Wisconsin. And she was right. Wisconsin women repeatedly have shown devotion to suffrage. In 1895, they raised funds for a permanent bronze statue of Forward. And at the conclusion of the World's Fair, that statue was placed near the east entrance of the Wisconsin State Capitol. Due to the effects of weather on the original bronze statue, Forward was later moved to the State Historical Society, where she remains today. However, in 1990, Wisconsin women, once again, this time led by former First Lady Sue Ann Thompson and her good friend Camille Haney, raised funds for the creation of a bronze replica of Forward. She now stands outside the state capitol, 7 feet tall, facing west. She looks down State Street from her position on the stairs leading up to the Wisconsin Capitol. She must have seen a lot in those 29 years, given the goings-on at the state capitol and on State Street as well. Forward has her right hand raised in greeting, and her left hand and arm hold tightly to the United States American flag. Forward is dedicated to women's suffrage, and she is beautifully expressed in the 2019 ornament that we will soon unveil. Now, although Wisconsin was the first state to ratify the 19th Amendment, suffrage did not come easily to Wisconsin women. There were many efforts, and there were many setbacks. For instance, in April 1911, Senate and Assembly passed Assembly Bill 102, and the governor signed it, although it was said he signed it reluctantly. Well, it then became 1911 Act 227. Act 227 then went to referendum because we were changing the Wisconsin Constitution. Well, disappointingly, on November 5th, 1912, a majority of Wisconsin voters, which of course were only men at that time, decided against giving women the right to vote. 227,024 men voted against suffrage, while 135,545 voted in favor of giving women the right to vote. Well, in 1913, another suffrage bill made it through the legislature, but this time Governor McGovern vetoed the bill. It was not until August 26, 1920, when 3/4 of the states ratified the 19th Amendment that Wisconsin women actually got full suffrage. We Wisconsin women are fortunate today. It is no longer a struggle to have our concerns respectfully heard by the legislature and by the governor. I have met with Speaker Voss, with Senator Fitzgerald, and many, many other legislators about my concerns for Wisconsin's judicial system. I have found them uniformly easy to work with on all matters that affect the people of Wisconsin. I have been similarly received by Governor Evers. So we Wisconsin women have a lot of progress to celebrate today. Congratulations to all Wisconsin people as we unveil the 2019 Wisconsin Capitol Ornament.
I'm going to invite Senator Schilling and the granddaughter to join. You want to each grab a side?
Oh, we're going to take the lid off here. You want to just get apart?
And
okay, so we're going to go.
I'll stand with you.
Yeah, that's right.
Blondes together.
There you go. Ready, set, go.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Beautiful. It's just gorgeous.
Helen, if you would do us the honor to bring your grandmother alive for all of us.
Okay, first of all, you've got my coat and I've got my glasses in
All
the
right,
coat.
I will grab
I am really prepared, you can tell. Yeah. Thank you so much. See? Okay, we know why we're here. It is the 100th anniversary of the, of the women's right to vote was ratified by the state of Wisconsin. And even though I'm partly from Illinois, excuse me, I am so proud of Wisconsin. I am so proud of Wisconsin. And I'm so proud of my grandmother, who was perhaps the person in the world that I loved the most. Dad. I'll try and bring her alive too, because part of it is the lady that I knew who sculpted and painted and draw things every day of her life. And her favorite thing, well, as I was saying to somebody over here, she didn't talk much because she was too busy working with the art that she loved so much. But she would suddenly spit out a single sentence about the past. And one day she said, "When I did forward, it was the happiest day of my life." I don't know where that came from, but as I see people coming up State Street and seeing the statue, which now has a suffrage banner on it, I see what she means. The love and the joy that she had while she was sculpting forward during the Columbian Exposition. And, well, as I was telling one lady, what you see in the photograph there is the first version. That's the one that froze to death in the winter. And she took all of the clay off of the armature and she redid the statue from scratch. What you see is the second version out in the Capitol. And that's the one where all of a sudden, the little hand that is down there is suddenly holding the Constitution. That. Okay, what else can what did I miss that I've got all of here? Yeah, she was born in Menasha, and her father was a minister, and he was a graduate of Williams College, and her mother was a graduate of Mount Holyoke. So when they were here in Wisconsin, they helped found 4 colleges, Beloit, Lawrence, and 2 units of the University of Wisconsin. She, fortunately, she had early training at Downer Seminary, and then traveled to Chicago to study allegorical sculpture with Lorado Taft in the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. Now, everybody at the time of the Columbian Exposition were scrambling to complete the buildings, and the supervisor was Daniel Burnham, and he started complaining to Lorado Taft that he wasn't getting the job done so quickly. So he said, "What am I supposed to do?" And Burnham answered, "Hire anyone, even white rabbits, to do the job." And so all of a sudden, Lorado Taft got this idea, because his students for the Master of Fine Arts were the people who were his assistants, and men had always been paid. And he said, "All right." Burnham used the word hire. "I am going to hire my women." And so for every commission that Lorado Taft had after that, he would hire women and pay them the same rates as men. Let me see. Got to be something else that I have here. Yeah. You know that the original statue was that. Okay. Most of the sculpture created for the Columbian Exposition was lost or destroyed, and the women of Wisconsin rallied and raised $6,000, but in today's money, that's $183,000 they raised in 1893. Yeah. And that's how the copper statue, the statue was recast in bronze in 1990, and that's the Capitol, the one that has the sash, and it's on the Capitol grounds at State Street. Let me see. Yeah. Oh boy, Grams. I wish she were here with us today. But unfortunately, it wouldn't have meant a thing to her, because the only thing in her life was, today I am going to work. Today I'm going to do what I'm good at. Today I am going to paint. Today I'm going to sculpt. Today I am going to draw. And that's how we lost her. It was March, and it was a little colder than she thought it was outdoors. And she caught a cold. It turned into pneumonia. And her life was from the presidency of Andrew Johnson, think of that for a minute, to Lyndon Johnson, and what has happened in all of that time. Well, since women's suffrage, we've had the 100 years plus. In Wisconsin, the first state to sign the woman's right to vote there. We've had 100 years. We've had 100 years. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you for being here, and thank you for loving her work as much as I loved the lady who created it.
Well, then only fitting, Helen, that we're going to present you with the very first ornament. It comes in this beautiful gift box with a picture of your grandmother's work. And then inside is a brochure that talks about the women's suffrage in Wisconsin, and then has the photo of your grandmother working on Forward and many more details on the suffrage movement. But this one is special because we had
only one box? Well, this is going to go to my husband's niece, who wanted to know everything that happened here today.
Very good, very good. And we had the at the noon event, Rebecca Clayfish, who's now the national leader for women's suffrage for the big event next year, sign your box. So that's a good idea.
Sign my box?
Yes. So there you go.
Okay.
Well, We'll have you seated, and then Julia's going to tell us how people can get the ornament, and then we'll get ready for the next one.
Can I get more?
Thank you, Helen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julie Lucier. I'm the Managing Director for the Wisconsin Historical Foundation. The Historical Foundation is a 501c3 organization that supports the Wisconsin Historical Society through private contributions and its membership program. We're proud to be the fiscal agent for the Wisconsin State Capitol Ornament Committee and celebrate this year's tribute to Forward and the centennial celebration of women's suffrage in Wisconsin. All proceeds from the sales of this ornament support the State Capitol Restoration Fund, which takes care of this beautiful building where we are today. I would like to thank the Wisconsin Women's Council for sponsoring this year's ornament. With us today are Christine Lidbury, the Director of the Council, and Council Member Cindy Block. Ornaments are on sale now at the Wisconsin Historical Museum. We're actually open today on a Monday. Normally we're not open, so please visit. You can also go to our website at wisconsinhistory.org to purchase ornaments online and find out other retailers who are going to have the ornaments this year. We thank you all for your support, and we hope that you enjoy the ornament.
Thanks to all of you for coming today. The great news is that we're going to be back in this room at 1 o'clock. Helen has agreed to come back to this room if anybody wants an interview or their photo with her and her grandmother's photo. We could certainly make that happen after the noon event. Also, there will be ornaments after the noon event for purchase at the Capitol Tour Desk as well. So thank you all very much for making this a special event. Let's go celebrate 100 years.